What is up, folks? Curious Tanmay here. Welcome to another video. This video is the fifth episode of Talks with Tanmay, in which I discuss with Hersh Gosar the importance of extracurricular activities while studying in the US. We also discuss about his meet with GaryVee. So stick around and enjoy the video if you want to know the cool story behind his meet with GaryVee. Welcome, guys, to the fifth episode of Talks with Tanmay. A weekly series in which I bring to you people with inspiring study abroad journeys to motivate you and to get your questions answered. Today we have Hersh Gosar AKA That Indian Guy with us, and he has been a public speaker. He has participated in multiple competitions. He has been a part of several clubs. He has volunteered and he has done a lot of extracurricular activities, and that's why I have invited him today on this show to talk about the importance of extracurricular activities while studying in the US. And I am really happy that he has taken out time to join us and share his experiences with us. So thank you, Hersh. Can you just go ahead and give a small introduction of yourself?
Yeah, so guys, for everybody joining new or Tanmay's audience as well. So my name is Hersh Gosar. I graduated with my undergrad last year from UT Dallas. And the reason a lot of people know me is I made a lot of videos documenting how I got to go do my undergrad in the US, the process, the experience, all of it. The channel called That Indian Guy. And it's been one good journey, and I graduated last year. So it's been a really fun experience of like over 100 videos on that topic at this point, just showing you all aspects of this process from before coming to the US to after what happens. And now I make content on LinkedIn, just sharing my career journey as I'm a young professional here in the US. So.
Yeah, you are really popular among students, Hersh. So, yeah. And your videos are also educational and fun. So, how did your journey in the US start? Like, how much did you score in SAT, and which universities did you apply to?
Yeah, for my SAT score, I don't remember the exact score. It was maybe 14, 10, 20, something like that out of 1600, which is a decent score. And I wasn't only focusing on the US. So in the US, I only paid the application to apply to UT Dallas, where I went, and there was another university that gave me a free application, so I applied there. Apart from that, I applied at 2 universities in Hong Kong. I got in there as well, and I was planning to apply to a couple of universities in Singapore. At the end of the day, UT Dallas gave me the most amount of scholarship of all of them. I mean, it's as simple as that. I chose to make the decision that, hey, this is good education. I mean, it's going to be very affordable.
Yeah. This is really good that you got scholarship, because one of the main reasons that students have about studying undergraduation in the US is the money factor, because it is expensive to pay 4 years of college tuition. So do you have any advice on that aspect of the undergrad education in the US?
Yeah, so for this, I will tell you, like, there's a lot of resources out there, a lot of scholarships that people don't even know exist. I've shared some of them. There's a lot more than that, as I've talked to people and found out scholarships in like universities I didn't even know give scholarships to international students. For example, my friend, his name is Nant Javia, also has a YouTube channel, got a scholarship at TCU, Texas Christian University. It's a private university. I had no idea it had a scholarship until he got one. So there's a lot of such scholarships for undergrads that exist, even for international students, it's to find them. I will still always say this, that even if you get a scholarship, even if you get full tuition scholarship, it is still going to cost a lot of money. So if you, again, I just say out of this, just being very frank, if you cannot spend like between 5 to 10 lakhs every year on your education, it's just going to be really hard. Your experience will be very diluted, because your focus will be just saving money and just being very frugal for 4 years, and it will really affect your experience. Versus if you have that space, then you can do what I did. You can be involved in all these extra things in college, because you're not always constantly worried about part-time jobs and this and that just to make it through the semester. So that's always my advice. There's tons of resources, but still make sure you have like at least that amount of money, and you can research what that amount of what that amount of money is in 2020. But just keep that in mind. If you really want a full experience, all you care is study and do that, then it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, you have participated in about 18 competitions, right? And you also got the chance to have a sponsored have multiple sponsored trips to US and the across the US and in Canada. Also, you also won several prizes through this competition. So, can you share those experiences with us?
Yeah, so these competitions are called hackathons. Now they're getting more and more. They started in the US and Canada. Now they're getting popular all across the world. The idea of this competition is to come in. You spend 24 hours, 40. Like you're spending 2 or 3 days at at a host university who has invited you, and then you have some challenges presented by companies that are sponsoring. Like Capital One will come and here's our data. Like what are you going to do with it? Microsoft's like here's our challenge, and so on. And you come and you meet a bunch of people from different universities, and your goal is to take an idea and build something that you can demo at the end of 2 or 3 days. And it's just a really fun process. I mean, you get to visit universities. I got to work on projects with people from so many different universities doing this. And what happens is once you get really good at it, then these competitions happen all across the country where you cannot easily travel. But if you have a really good, I think I don't know the exact qualification, but they usually make you list your past projects and achievements. And I had a good enough of them that I was able to apply for travel reimbursement. So what would happen is, like Georgia Tech would pay for my travel to go to their hackathon. Like I even went to like Canada University of Waterloo. They paid all the expenses related to traveling there. Because the idea is they want people from other universities, they want diversity in their competitions. They just don't want like people from their state. They want people from everywhere. So they have a certain budget. Always the bigger hackathons have that. For me, it was a great way to travel, but also this is probably the reason why I worked in software development. It's just I really, really enjoyed the process. It was really exciting. You're just staying up all day, all night, hanging out with people, writing projects, and just it was a super fun experience. That's why I did 18 is not usual. Like I think very few people. I have some friends who also did it very like competitively, like I did. But usually people go to 4 or 5 or 3, 4, 5 during their time because there'll always be something around their city. So
Yeah, 18 is a lot. And I just felt from your talks that that it is like giving into the system. Like when you start participating in hackathons, build your profile, then the system helps you back. You get sponsored for other hackathons, and it's like a cycle. So it's really great to know. Yeah,
it is
and
good.
how were you able to manage studies with participating in hackathons and
Yeah, so this is
stuff?
just something I did. I think in my first 2 something years of college, I only worked part time in the summer. So I never had part time job. And actually, I realized that like, I was doing my part time job in my fall semester of my third year or second or third year of college, and I just realized I cannot do hackathons and do part time jobs and do this like all or do all this video stuff. It's just I would just burn myself out. It got to the point where I would come back from a hackathon at 9 p.m., change and go to my night shift. I used to work at the student union. It was very exhausting. So again, that's so I had the buffer to be able to like say I don't want to do a part time job. It will make you $800, $1,000 a month. I don't want that. Rather, I want to get more involved in other activities. So that's why I bring that up. Like if you have that option, that will just free up so much time to do other things. It takes time, like to it's not just a weekend, it's just the preparation for it. I have to read a lot, I have to prepare a lot of technical stuff before going in. So you're doing something fun there. And all the other activities, they take time. So if you have classes, you have extracurricular activities, it's very, very hard to have everything like at the end of the day. So
Yeah. And you were also a part of some clubs at UT Dallas.
yeah.
So can you speak about those and what were your experiences?
Yeah, so I think a couple of clubs I was more involved in, and one of them was Rotaract Club at UT Dallas. I was involved in that back in Mumbai as well, and it's just a community service club. But I think the part is when there's a very big aspect of it is just having that like the people around you. When you do so many projects together, but they'll also do so many events where you get to hang out and do fun. So I got really involved at UTD. In fact, my first semester, they gave me like the most active member award. Just how much I had fun and being engaged and involved in their projects. Apart from that, there's also this is at UTD. There's an organization called International Students Inc. ISI. So then they would do a lot of events for international students. Like there'd be some families. There's a lot of churches around our campus, and they would provide for food and resources to host people. And I think I was involved there most of my time in college because it kind of feels like feels like a family once you start meeting a lot of people there and try to do things with them. So these are two places I was really involved in. Yeah.
Yeah, the places like these are where genuine networks grow, right?
Yeah.
And these networks ultimately help you throughout your career.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you were also a part of some volunteering works
Yeah.
while your time at UTD. So how was it, and how much time was required for you
Yeah.
to be dedicated?
So I mean, I told you the first one is Rotaract Club at UTD. It's mainly a community service volunteering organization. Like they would have their meeting once a week. That would be a few hours, and usually twice a month we would have projects on the weekends. But it's not like boring meetings. When you go in there, you discuss the project, but you get to talk to everybody. They'll have some snacks over there. It's just you go again and again. You make all these friends. You have these connections, and it's really fun to go get involved. Apart from that, I think the coolest volunteering I did was, and such stuff exists, is for 4 months I was a volunteer at Dallas Love Field Airport. I just like airports. I just like airplanes. So they were always like short of people. So they have this program called Airport Ambassador where they train you, explain you how things go around the airport, and you just have to help people around the airport. And it was super duper fun as an aviation enthusiast just to hang out in an airport every week. So and there's so many there's unlimited opportunities here to volunteer. As a matter of fact, you just need to go find what you like to do and just go do that.
Mm-hmm. Uh, that's really awesome. And you also did 4 internships in bachelor's, which is really great.
Yeah.
And how did your past experiences of these extracurricular activities like organizations, hackathons, and volunteering work help you in getting those internships and helped you through your work at those companies?
Yeah, so I think the first part is when you're trying to get your first internship and you are an undergrad student like me. We don't have any other professional experience. So you want to talk about some kind of a way to show like how you work in teams, how you work in with other people, how you work with leaders and so on. And these organizations are a great example of that. Like I was also part of the Indian Student Association for my first year or so. I was an officer there. I had lots of stories to say like, hey, this such situations came up, and because they'll ask you in interviews like, tell me about a situation where things were difficult, whatever. And you have these examples from these organizations you've been part of. It also tells the recruiter or the company that you just didn't go to class and go home. You were trying to do something outside of that, and you were proactive. But once you are in the company, I think the skills you learn in these organizations, because they're a little bit more organized than your friend group. Like there's meeting times are defined, the agenda, the structure is defined, the projects are a little bit more defined. It's not like you just hang out like with no agenda. So that actually builds some discipline that you can carry on to you when you go to your workplace. And I think that level of professionalism and discipline based on what organization you're part of. There's some organizations, extracurriculars, are even more strict. Like there's Toastmasters, which is a public speaking club that I know a lot of my friends with, even more strict. So I think those things will add so much value once you start working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and also while doing all of this, you managed your YouTube channel, and so I would love to know about how your YouTube journey started, and has it also helped you in your career right now?
Yeah. No, I mean, my YouTube channel started as a result of I found this scholarship opportunity to come to my undergrad, which I just felt like not a lot of people know exists. And I was going through this whole process, so I decided just to document it because I like making videos. It's my hobby. It's something I really enjoy doing, and it just kind of grew out of there. I didn't know where it was gonna go because this was back in 2015 when I started. Study abroad YouTubing did not exist. Like it's just there was no such videos going on around. I think the closest you could get was the Happy Schools blog, which is a little bit more technical on your visas, and it's a little bit more technical channel. But that was the closest you could get to any information you wanted. So there was no like person walking around and showing you about their college experience and so on. So I thought, oh, it would be fun. It would be a fun hobby for me to do during this college, and that's how it started. And it's just grown a lot since then. Just the scale of it, just the number of people who have watched it and have actually been able to take the steps to do it, especially for undergrad. Like a lot of people did not know the information existed, or a lot of people in general did not know the scholarship system in Texas that I got to explain in my videos. And I personally met so many people who watched that and were able to apply, get in, and it matched their financial budget, and then they came in to study. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this or not, but a lot of people came to know about UTD because of your YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really cool.
they could pay me, but they disagree. You know?
Yeah. Also, uh, you did 4 internships, right? I don't know much about the bachelor's situation, but in masters, you get to do only 12 months of CPT. So,
Yeah.
is it the same for bachelors? And if so, how did you manage to do 4 internships that were no longer than 12 months?
No, so it is the same requirement, but there's a distinction between a full-time internship that is more than 20 hours a week, which is what I did in the summer, and part-time internship, which is something you do for like less than 20 hours while you go to class, and the less than 20 hours does not count in that 12-month calculation. So the program I studied allowed us to do up to 6 internships as a way instead of having to do an extra class, I could keep doing these internships and get credits for them. They gave us an option that, hey, you could take these optional information systems classes or do an internship. Not every program offers that, but if your program does offer that, so that's why I was able to do these 2 part-time internships. So yeah, I mean, in my last semester when I did the 20-hour internship, I could have either done that or I would have to take a class. I would rather do the internship, learn a little bit, and instead of just having to take a class to pick something, I thought this was more interesting opportunity. You just have to find those part-time opportunities. There's plenty of them out there. I just from my own experience in the past, to get these 20-hour internships, if you're doing it during college, you need to have some skills beforehand because it's not enough time for them to train you in a lot of things. So if you can find some very, very specific defined roles and you're like, hey, I have the skills and I have the time to do this, will you take me in for this project? And it works out. So I was able to do that two internships while like college is going on as usual.
Yeah, it is really good to have an option between the theoretical class and internship, because then you also get the knowledge as well as the industry experience. So it's really cool.
You should pay attention to your program. Like not every program allows that many interns. So as an international student, you can only take internship if you have a class available for it. And different programs have different caps on how many internships you can do. The program I studied had more internship credits available. Some might have less. So if that's something you think about, just think what is available.
Mm-hmm. Also, can you just distinguish the difference, distinguish between co-op and a CPT for our audience who are looking to
Actually,
go for
I do not know the difference, quite honestly. This is a term used at some other universities, and it wasn't at UTD, so I quite honestly don't know the answer to that. It's never looked up. Yeah.
Okay. Also, you have met GaryVee. and
Yeah.
this has been a really viral video that you posted on LinkedIn about your meet with GaryVee. So can you share how did that happen, and what were the things that you like talked with
Yeah.
GaryVee once you met him?
I still keep telling people that's like it's I just met him one time and that's still been the number one icebreaker ever. I have a picture of me and Gary Vee on my LinkedIn like page as the cover. I still get messages from people like, how did you meet Gary Vee? That was like over 2 years ago, but it was just one of the most fun experiences I had. Gary was in Dallas for a private event for the NFL, which is the football league here in the US. It's a private event. It's not announced to the public, but the event space where he is meeting the one of the event managers there is my friend, and I saw her on her Instagram story that Gary Vee is in Dallas, and I saw it, and I was in my class. I just got up, left the class, and I drove 30 minutes to downtown. I live like my university is really far from downtown. The event was in downtown. I just left, and on the way, I'm like, "Hey, you have to let me in. I don't know how. I'm just on my way." And when I actually showed up at the space, she was so surprised that I actually came. But the important things here is right. So like, she let me in. I get to meet Gary. It was a fun experience. The important thing is all of this is possible because I knew so many people at that space. So a few months before that, one of my part-time internships, the company used to sit at that space. That's where their office was. So when I was there, I spent time talking to all the property managers, people who work there, and just connect with those people and become friends with them. And I think that's why that relationship was there, that they would let me in at such a high-profile event. Just walk in to meet this guy who's like his minutes are worth millions of dollars, I guess, at this point. But they were willing to do it because of just the relationship we had from the past few months of I was hanging around there, talking to them and just getting to know those people. It was really cool. I think it's just the right opportunity and just acting on it as soon as I see it.
Yeah, this is the importance of having good networking skills and nurturing your network, because you definitely get help in your career, but you also get to have opportunities like this, which is really cool, like meeting Gary Vee. Also, I have some questions about the public speaking events that you have done,
Yeah.
whether it be at Education USA or the Big Howdy at UT Dallas. I wanted to know how were you able to like seal these opportunities, and how did you executed them?
So I think a lot of these opportunities were inbound. What I mean by inbound is just I've just put out so much work on YouTube, so much work on LinkedIn that you've added so much value to the platform and people are ready that people know what is going on. So with regards to like Education USA, and I think even once like the US consulate Mumbai, all these people, like Education USA is this program that helps people who want to study in the US. It's like more official source of information everywhere in the world. Again, there's at least more than a year long relationship I had with them even before I came to the US. Like they were probably they were my best source of information. Like their counselors helped me a lot, and my family worked through all the program. And I liked them a lot more because they were very empowering. Their classes taught a lot of things. They didn't do anything for you, but they taught a lot of things for you, and they would clarify a lot of things for you if you needed. So I like their approach. I spent a lot of time getting to know them. So it was just very natural when like I'm a lot of my content, a lot of my educational content early on is almost derived from what I've learned from them. So it's just very natural to like be able to go back there and share with their audience to see it's for people who are going through their program currently. It's for them to see the result of like, okay, we're following this program. Where is it going to lead us to at the end of the day?
Mm-hmm.
Things like Big Howdy, it's just again building relationships with the like International Students Inc., the organization I told you on campus. Again, the way I built that relationship was going every week for many years, just being there and getting to know people there. UTD, if you don't know, has the biggest population of at least the Indian students in the US, and is like top 10 number of international students. So they have events at scale that might not be possible at other universities. So they have a very very big welcome party for international students called Big Howdy. So they invited me to just come share because they realized a lot of people already know me and would be happy to see me on the stage. But it's just But it was again a result of building relationship with like people I know in the organization there, and just spending. It's just it takes time. It's just spending a lot of time getting to know these people. Yeah.
Yeah. And have these public speaking skills helped you at your work?
No, I mean they absolutely they carry forward to any area of your life you go. Just being I think it's more than public speaking. It's at those scales. It's just being able to articulate and say what thoughts you have, what ideas you have, what even in work, what projects you have. I've talked to my own like my recruiter who brought me into my last company, Elevate. So she was like, hey, like you're an international student, but you're still able to articulate your ideas, your thoughts, and that was something we found really valuable, which is not always the case. So again, it's very important to work on these things because even when you're working, you might want to communicate this. You might not. You might want to change something in the project, and that's stuff. That kind of stuff happens all the time, even in software development. You should be able to be confident to explain what you want to other people.
Yeah, this is also what I have heard from many people, that international students are not that open, and especially undergrad students, because they are right out of their high school and they have to fly to some another alien country there, where they know no one. And in such situations, having a clear mind and great communication skills is really awesome, and obviously it helps you in both in career as well as your social life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did you get your job directly after graduation, or you had some of your unemployment days used up?
No, I got my job directly. I got the job in March, so I already knew it before going in. I did not have unemployment days, but I had to wait a couple weeks, a couple months because last year it was just taking a lot of time to get EAD cards for a lot of students. So I just had a break in between when I graduated and my job started. But luckily, I was able to find the job a few months before I graduated. Just spent a lot of time the last semester of college with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, so have you received your like H1B, and can you share some things on what is the process for applying for the H1B?
I don't have an H1B, and again, I made a video very recently about this. Actually, I just think like that I'm more on the point of we are international students, and they give us this period of like the practical training for 1 or 3 years based on what you studied. I'm again speaking to people doing the undergrad. I think it's more than enough time to just figure out what you want to do next and just focus on that. All this other stuff, it's like really beyond your control. Like you can find all the videos you want on the internet explaining how this works, but it's probably all you can do is find a job that will even do the effort to do that. But at the end of the day, if you know anything about the process, it's not in your control. It's randomized. So you can spend hours and hours and days and years wasting stressing about it, but it's not going to lead to, and you cannot control the outcome of that process. So especially if you're doing your undergrad, I'd rather tell people do what you want to do for these 3 years. Like pick something you want. Don't pick something because of that. A lot of people have to make that choice. Like, oh, I need to pick this because like, no, just do what you want to do. Again, I just think you're doing your undergrad. You still have the rest of your life left. You have these 3 years to really get a good idea of, okay, I just studied this. Is this something I'm really interested in? If not, what else can I do with my life? So it's just like you want to spend your 20s, your entire 20s figuring all the extra stuff out. That's just how I see it. That's just how I live by it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I had this question asked by a student on Instagram, that what is the work that you currently do, and like what is your job right now, and what are you working on?
Development job. So my last company was in financial service. They're 100% online lender. So my job there would be to be part of the team that writes software to make sure more and more people apply for loans. Because if they apply for loans and credit cards, that's how we get more money coming in the company. There's I think just when you're starting early on, I think you have this basic skill set, and you start to figure out your role in the company can be varied a lot based on where you're going. At least right after you finish your undergrad.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and also you have built a very strong personal brand. And do you have any advice regarding this for the upcoming aspirants, and how it has helped you grow?
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't have a YouTube channel or LinkedIn stuff, you still have a personal brand. It might come out when you're talking to employers. It might come out when you're just talking to people in general. Like, who are you? How are they going to define you? And I think it's just, especially if you have 4 years of college, if you're already doing your undergrad, maybe you have 3 years of college, you have time to figure out what that is for you. And the best way to know that is to try a bunch of different things and see what you like. And I've just learned, if I see a lot of my activities in the past, I think I'm known for my video and influencer work because I've been doing it for 5 years. Your brand is based on things that you like, you enjoy, but you also have that track record of doing it for a long time that shows that you actually like it. You're not just doing it for the heck of it. It just takes time to find out what it is. But if you're in college, this is a great chance. It's going to be so many different opportunities. Try them out, see which ones you like, and go from there. In fact, at UTD, I remember, and I'm sure they do it at other colleges too, every semester they would have this thing called org fair, like an organization fair. So all the organizations would fill up the basketball stadium, and you can just walk around and talk to everybody and decide. Like, I would just try to go every time and try to see if there's something new that I don't know, doesn't exist, or like I remember some halfway through my college, a couple of my friends revived the photography club that didn't exist before. That was died before. That stuff going. There's always new stuff around. So you will have a lot of opportunities like this where you even get to walk around and see what all organizations are out there. You'll do it when you start your college as well. So go talk to this. I think that's almost like the best way to meet everybody in person and get to know which ones you want to try out.
Yeah, and regarding personal brand, it is that you should find what you love, master it, and then broadcast it, so that there is a proof that you really know it and you are really serious about it. Yeah.
Well, I can say this: there's so many different things out there. So just try different things till you find something you like. If you're like, I don't like what I'm doing right now, I think right now in 2020, that's not the excuse. There's just so much stuff out there you can do and just figure out new things. So
Yeah, and even if you fail at that, it is just a learning step, and you can surely improve yourself learning from the failure.
I
And
see Rob from Chai and Coaching is here.
yeah, yeah, and so right now, what are your current future plans, given that you are done with your graduation and you are a software engineer in Dallas?
My future plans, as I don't know if this is the answer you're expecting, is just to enjoy the next 1 or 2 years. I just finished college. Like I've established my network. At least have some things, some foundational pieces in place. Now I'm just trying to probably have more fun. Then that's why you don't see me post a lot on YouTube. I hardly do that. I'm still a little bit posting less on LinkedIn, just trying to enjoy things around there. As we had a lot of technical difficulties, I'm not on Facebook or Instagram anymore. I know we had a lot of challenges setting this up because of that. I'm just focusing more on people around me, and I've been doing that, and it's been going fun. Just this is just my goal for next couple of years, just to make the most out of time and enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, this is such an important thing because be it as a master student or as a bachelor student, you are spending a lot of money studying abroad. And if you are not enjoying it, then at the end of the day, it's of no use. You need to cherish your every moment in the US. And
Yes, you're gonna like you did your stuff, right? You did all your classwork, you did your stuff, you have a job. Okay, now enjoy. Like, don't just do more of that. Now, I think once you have everything in place, it's okay to just chill out and do something else. Like, yeah, that's not all it is about. It's just internships and studying and job and projects. There's a lot more fun things to do around. So
yeah, and even in the job market, people look for candidates or students who actually have fun and just don't do things in order to just put them on their resume. So you also need to have fun along with the other important things that are required for your career. Yeah. So I had one more question from a student. I have written it down. Yeah. So, is it good to start with 2 years of community college before coming for undergrad education in the US?
So again, this is something I will refer you to Nun Javia, my friend, who also makes YouTube videos. He did community college for a couple of years and then went to university. I think he has a lot better advice on that than I do on this topic. And his life, his journey is like a testament. He did community college. Now he got full scholarship and is transferred to TCU in the same area as I live, and is continuing. And probably saved a lot of money on those first 2 years of education. But I think he had more fun going to community college. He went to community college in California. Just met a lot of people, had a lot of good friends. He was making YouTube videos. He was just happy to be in California. So I actually recommend check out his videos. Let me see if I can find it. I'll put it in the chat. He probably has better advice on this topic than I do. Okay, I just put it in the chat for this live stream. Just go check it out. His YouTube channel has a lot of good content on community college as well. Or just message him and ask him how his experience was.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I have one more question by a student asked to me. How can we go in data science or data analytics after doing MIS?
Well, I think some of these things are part of your class in MIS. So people watching MIS is Management Information Systems. That's the course I studied. The thing about that course is super duper broad. It just teaches you a little bit of everything. And one of the things that we'll talk about is analytics and data science. And you even have optional classes, like I took marketing analytics. You can even take all these other specialized classes if you want. So once you do that, I think that will just give you a good idea of whether you like it or not, or what are the basic skills. Now, of course, you can just learn them on your own and try to go that route. But the course of MIS course is usually broad enough that it will cover some analytics, something, give you some idea of is this something you like or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am done with the questions that students have asked me on Instagram. Do we have any questions in the LinkedIn chat section?
There's no questions, man. You're joining at 8:30 a.m. Central Time on a work day.
Yeah.
You're watching it later, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I'll be happy to answer in the comments afterwards if anybody posts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, also, can you emphasize on the importance of networking in order to get jobs in the US, and how important it is? Because here in India, it's not of that it's not of that much importance, or at least it is not given that much importance. So, can you emphasize on that?
I think I disagree with you on that statement. Like where I grew up, even in India and Mumbai, again, networking or like having those relationships is exactly how you'll get jobs. That's how my again, I come from families own businesses, things like that. So that's about how everything came, was by networking. I think that's probably the reason why it comes more natural to me, is just growing up in that environment, but everything came as a result of relationships with other people. Maybe that was just I was just always surrounded by that kind of things. I remember how my brother got his articleship for his like an apprenticeship for his studies and so on, like just by the relationships with my parents. I know how I have gotten some connections in the past through my parents and so on. So I think it's true over there. It's true anywhere in the world. That's just how we are. We like relationships. It is maybe, from what I'm learning, maybe based on the environment you grow up in, you're not exposed to it. Versus in the US, you're exposed to it a lot more often. But it is true. It's just I think at the end of the day, it's just you're trying to build relationships with other people. The way I do it is just I just try to find people I like. There's just so many people online. You cannot have a relationship with everybody really at that level. So I just try to find people I find interesting, I like, and just try to connect with them. And maybe my background growing up probably has more gave me more idea of it growing up.
Yeah, networking is such an important thing. And can you share with us how was your experience in general as a student who came to the US when he was just an 18-year-old kid, and how were you able to manage the fact that you like how did you digest the fact that you have to manage everything on your own in a new country?
I think it's a question of why you want to do it. That's what I just put it. It was really difficult. It was challenging. It was really rough transition. I joined in the spring semester, so I missed a lot of the orientation, which I feel like would have given me more time to understand some of the things. But it's why I really wanted to get a good education. I really wanted to do it, and that's why I'm like this. That's probably one of the most important questions. That's why are you doing this? I think even for your undergrad, it is a fun experience. It's awesome. You're gonna have a lot of time, but it's difficult. Probably more difficult because of your age. You're just so young going through this process. So at least have an idea why you're doing it, and that why could be like, I want to live in this city. So you went to this university here. It's fine, but just don't just go blindly because it is really challenging. It is no matter what, it will be difficult. Like just doing this transition phase. So I think knowing why I'm doing it probably helped me go through a lot of that, push through a lot of that.
Yeah, having motivation and aim and knowing what you are doing clearly in your mind should be enough to push you and live independently even at the age of 18 years. Yeah, and so right now, uh, like we have almost covered all the topics that were there
Mhm.
for the session, but I would like to say that in the previous videos that I have done of talks with Tanmay, we have usually had people who came to the US for masters. So I would like to uh, ask you about like right now in this time of pandemic, students who were planning to go for bachelors starting fall 2020 have have three options in front of them, maybe like starting online or starting in spring 21 or starting in fall 21. So what do you think would be the best option for bachelors aspirants?
I think all three are good options when you're doing your bachelor's because your course is 4 years long. So even if you have to do this, versus like your master's, if you start now, maybe we're still in this environment, like things are still kind of slow for the next 2 years, but you have 4 years to figure it out. So the good thing is about a bachelor's is a lot of people. I mean, even before this, would take gap year for a year. I joined 6 months late. It, in the grand scheme of things, joining 1 year late is probably going to make no difference. Of like, as long as you're making good use of the 6 months to 12 months you have. So if you know what you're gonna do with those 6 months to those 12 months, if you have a good use of it, you can defer it and join late. And probably in the big picture of your education, probably make no difference. Maybe you're more mature. Maybe that helps for all it, because I had a lot of friends who just would join a year later or something like that based on what they did.
Mhm.
But yeah, if you have like no idea, if you're like, oh, if I don't go to college in fall, I'm gonna waste the 6 months. Probably just if you want to spend the money, you want to do it online, you can do it. Yeah. Again, for some people, they might be spending a lot of money and might not find the online experience to be worth it. So just wait 6 months or a year. Just don't think like you're running out of time or something. You're missing something by going a year late. Like it's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you started your bachelor's in spring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are a lot of like misunderstandings or like things going on about spring that there are less opportunities for internship in spring as compared to fall, and is all of that stuff true? What do
Actually,
you think?
I'm gonna say this very particular to people doing their bachelor's, their undergrad, to not come in the spring semester. I did it, and I just realized not. And the reason is not internships, all of that. Like, again, you have so much time. You have 4 years that it doesn't make that much difference. It's more about your college experience. Most universities will not start a lot of. There's not a lot of international students. Not a lot of students in general starting their undergrad in the spring semester. Most of them will always start it in fall. I'm talking people starting fresh, not like transferring it, just starting from scratch. When I started, there was only 4 students starting that semester, and I was the only international student. What it does is you miss out on orientation. You miss out on so many opportunities. Like, I think these are designed to make your transitions like smooth and slow, and like you get all these. They do, like, because I saw a lot of it 6 months later when the new class came in. Like, they give you so many opportunities to make friends, and it's a very relaxing start of college versus when I came, I just had jumped right into the middle of this new system, new country. So if you're doing your bachelor's, just in my opinion, unless your university has a lot of people coming in new in the spring semester, domestic, international, like, most universities just don't have programs that start in spring. They don't do those kind of events. I think those are very important events to make your transition go well. So again, don't worry about internships, this, that. Some people try to time it and they're like, I want to do 15 internships in my college. Doesn't, like, I did 4 internships. Quite honestly, I could have done 2 and it would have not made too much difference in my education. The only reason I did 2 more was it gave me a chance to replace my classes with those things, and it was fun to do. But having done 2 less internships would have made not much difference. I'm being very honest. So like going from 2 to 4 is not, like going from 0 to 1, 1 to 2 makes a lot of difference in experience. 2 to 4 doesn't as much. So yeah, I would say, like, if you want my opinion, don't come in spring semester, come in fall. You'll have a better college life. You'll probably make more friends. You'll probably understand how college works much better than if you come like I did, which might be a little bit tough. Yeah.
Yeah, and is there any problem while giving the visa interview because of the fact that you are going for a spring semester, spring
I
start?
don't know the answer to that question because I'd given my visa interview for fall and I just changed afterwards for a semester. So in my opinion, it shouldn't be. You can probably ask somebody. Like, why? I don't know why it would be a problem, but maybe somebody else has better advice on this question.
Okay. Okay. So, do we have any questions over there on LinkedIn chat?
Rob was asking what are the best places for food in Mumbai. So I said Khawgali and Ghatkopar and Mumbai.
Yeah, exactly. Khawgali and Ghatkopar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe Juhu Chowpatty.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you have any parting words for our incoming international students, for bachelors who are coming for undergrad education? Do you have any final tips on the importance of extracurricular activities and also in general?
Well, I just say anybody starting the undergrad, that you are not a master's student. It's a very important distinction to make. A lot of your peers, international peers, will be, but just you have to remember that you have 4 years of classes. The level of expectation and level of knowledge they're walking into, you won't be doing that. So it's okay if you don't know a lot of things. It's okay if you're confused about a lot of things. I didn't know what STEM extension was when I first got admitted to university. I'm serious. Like, I had no idea what STEM extension was back then. So that level of thing, like, I didn't know, right? But you're gonna have 4 years to figure out. Go to these organization fairs. If you're starting the semester, I'm sure they will. If people are meeting in person, they will. I know so many organizations that are involved in person, so many events that are involved in person, even meetups. They're meeting online. So maybe this is your chance to plug in and get involved and see what those are. But please try to go beyond your classes and just those regular things, because that you are quite honestly paying for it. I think that probably makes up like a big percentage of your experience going through all this program, like things you are getting here that you probably might have not gotten back in India if you studied there. So just these are my parting words. And there's going to be clubs way beyond. There's more clubs than your data science and information systems clubs. There's My first semester, I learned a lot of dancing from this. There's a club that teaches dancing every Tuesday night or something. So I learned a lot of dancing from going to that club. There's a lot of fun clubs. Like there is like the photography. There's like a few hundred clubs in every university, so you can find something beyond your academic experience as well. Again, that's why I say you're not a master student, because they have limited time, so they don't have as much time always to get involved in these dancing club, but you can. So do it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Harsh, for your time, and thank you for sharing your experience with us. We are very pleased to we were very pleased to have you. Folks, for watching the video. I usually upload all the episodes of Talks with Tanmay on my IGTV, but I thought that this episode is really something special. That's why I uploaded it on YouTube as well. So if you want to watch the other episodes of Talks with Tanmay, head to my Instagram channel. Link is in the description. And I hope you liked this video, and if you really did, please smash the like button for me. I'm hoping to get 50 likes on this video, and let me know in the comment section how the video was, and if you really loved it, then shatter the subscribe button for me. I am aiming to get 100 subscribers by the end of this month. And if you haven't already checked out my previous YouTube video, please click on this thumbnail. It is the Q&A session on studying in the US. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, be curious.